Hi guys, this is Frank White and welcome to a quick episode of Photography Tips and Reviews. Actually, today what I want to do is talk about something that I've been thinking about for a while, and that is to start a weekly show. So I think what I'm gonna do is I've got some ideas for a weekly show that I am going to start in the first week of January, where I talk about photography. Of all things, can you imagine photography? Anyway, so the name of the show is Bare Exposure, a photographer's rap session, or just Bare Exposures for short. So the format is fluid, but to start with, I'm going to start off by, of course, making my introduction, and after my introduction, I'm going to talk about what's new. I am going to talk about what's new in photography. I peruse websites like Petapixel, Canon Rumors. I intend to add Nikon Rumors to the mix. I will be doing interviews with other photographers, and a lot of photographers do shoot mirrorless. So, that would be an opportunity to talk about mirrorless. So after I finish talking about what's new, of course, I just mentioned the interviews. The weekly shows are gonna vary. So some weeks I may talk about, I may do an interview. Some weeks I may do a behind the scenes photo shoot. Some weeks I may just do a rap session. Some weeks I may read your comments and questions and answer questions that you may have. So it's just going to vary. It's a fluid show, but it's about having fun. I really hope that my weekly show will be both entertaining and informative to you. And I know that communication-wise, you might look at me as being a little rough around the edges, but just like photography, with making YouTube videos and creating, being a creative, then I suspect that I get better. In fact, when I go back and look at some of my really old stuff, I'm like, oh God, who is that monotone, depressed person who call himself anyway, you get the idea. Then I want to do an image critique. Image critiques, I feel like they are really important. Image critiques help us become stronger photographers. I become a stronger photographer simply by critiquing your images, and hopefully you'll become a stronger photographer because the information that I give back to you, hopefully you could get something that's useful that you can put in your workflow. So we'll see how that goes. Now, I am going to give you where you can start submitting your critiques. If you want to start submitting them now, then I can select one for the show in the first week of January, which is when Bare Essentials will initially launch. So you want to submit your images on Flickr, and if you search for Critiques by Frank White, then you should find that Flickr channel already set up, waiting for your images. Now, with that said, I do have some for this show, just submit. It's wide open. Just submit whatever you want: landscapes, night photography, portraits, just whatever you want to submit is fine. I'm gonna select one image and I'm gonna critique it. Hopefully, at some point, I come out with a way to randomly select the image, because I don't want to go through the images and say to myself, consciously or either subconsciously, this image is easier to critique, so I'm gonna choose this image or this image. I feel, I just want to make it random. The criteria that I want to hold you to is that you submit only images that are 10 by 24 or larger in pixel size on the long edge. I want to be able to 20 by 48, it would really be what I'd like for you to submit. And I think Flickr does allow you to submit larger images than a lot of the other websites, particularly Google Photos or Facebook, which take the images and do apply, I think, a lot more compression than Flickr. So submit them to Flickr, critiques by Frank White, and be sure to include your EXIF data. I want to know what your photo, which camera your photo was taken with, and I also want to know the settings that you use to make the picture. I do intend to take all of that into consideration when I make the image critiques. Okay, so I think the critiques will be a lot of fun for both of us. So next, I have a section that for right now, I'm just calling it whatever, we'll talk about whatever. It might be something related to photography. It may be something related to Lightroom, post-processing, like a tip, whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. And finally, I'm hoping that you guys will be the ones who guide me. You guys will be the ones who give me suggestions so that when I create this show, which ought to be fun, that you'll feel like it's not just my show, but it's our show. I really want this channel to be a collaborative effort for all of us. And to me, it doesn't make any difference whether you are a seasoned professional, have been shooting 45 years, or whether you just picked up the camera yesterday, maybe one that you might get for the holiday. It doesn't make any difference. I am so looking forward to this. Anyway, guys, I hope to get your image. I hope, yeah, I do want to say this before I close, is I don't intend to stop making my reviews. So I may do, sometimes I may review an item in the show, or sometimes I may upload as many as 3 videos in 1 week, which might be a tip, a review, and bare exposures. So anyway, just remember, guys, keep shooting no matter what.